Hello there, class. So today, what we're going to be talking about in this video is what we talked about here in class, which is the surface area of a rectangular pyramid. So to begin with, there are some things that we have to look at, and those things are like base, face, edge, vertex, and surface area. And we're going to talk about each one of those individually. So first, we're going to start by talking about the base. Now, the base of a rectangular pyramid is a rectangle. So this I'm going to outline here in red. Now, the next thing to talk about is face. When it comes to a rectangular pyramid, the faces are all triangles, and there are 4 triangles in a rectangular pyramid. I'm going to try to outline them all here. So to keep going while I'm outlining, each of these lines that are blue or red are parts of the edges. Now, an edge is where either the face meets the other face, or an edge, or a base meets the face. So there's one other really important thing about this, and that's the vertex. The vertex is this thing up here, this yellow dot that I'm drawing in right here, and it's where all the faces meet together. Now, what exactly is surface area? So surface area is the complete area of the outside. So not what's inside, but what's around it. So in this case, we're going to have to find the area of 4 triangles, and we're going to have to find the area of 1 rectangle. So to continue on here, we're going to look at some of these formulas. So the first formula that we need to look at is the area of a rectangle. Now the rectangle, again, is the base that's down here, right? So the area of a rectangle is going to be the length times the width. So if this is our length, this is our width. I'm sorry, that was the worst W ever. So you all can make fun of me for that later. We're going to put the W over here. We will multiply this number by that number, and that will give us the area, and we'll only have one of those. Now, the area of a triangle, as you guys probably remember, is a little more difficult. It is the base times the height, and all that divided by 2. So if this is our height, we're going to multiply that by the L, which just happens to be the triangle's base, so that's the same number, and we're going to multiply those 2 and then divide by 2. So lastly, Pythagorean's theorem, which we're going to refer to this as the P theorem from now on. So the P theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And c squared is the hypotenuse of a triangle. A and b squared are both parts of the legs of the triangle in a right triangle. But we'll get to that here in a little bit. So our first example here, though, is not as difficult. So here's our first example. So to figure out for the surface area, like I said, we need to figure out the base area and the 4 triangle areas. So let's assume that this is 4 and this is 5. So let's begin by just doing the area of the base. So we're going to have 4 times 5, because 4 is the length, 5 is the width. And when we do that, we get 20. So now we have all these 4 triangles, but what the heck are we going to do with them? Their bases are different, but what are their heights? So let's just give both of these the height of 2. So let's take our first triangle here. We have the base of 4 and the height of 2, all divided by 2. So that equals 8 divided by 2, which equals 4. But here's the thing, is this triangle here in the front and this triangle here in the back, are the exact same triangles because they both have the same base of 4 and the same height. So actually, we're going to times that by 2 to get both of them. So that'll be 8. So now we have our base and our front and our back triangles. So now we need to get the side triangles. And so with our formula, we do 5 times 2. So the base times the height. And then we're going to divide that by 2, which equals 10 over 2, which equals 5 when you reduce. But because we need both the left or the right and the left triangle, we have to multiply that by 2, in which we get 10. So now over here, all we have is we have 20, we have 8, and we have 10. So we have to add these three numbers together, and we get, let me erase that. We get 38. Now, I didn't specify units on this one, but with surface area, it's units squared. So that would be your complete answer. All right, we'll move on to our next problem. All right, example 2 here. Let's stay with our bases being 4, our lengths and our width of the base being 4 and 5. But now here's the thing, is we have this line coming straight down from the vertex down to the center of the base. So there's a whole bunch of right triangles here, right? So, or right angles, I'm sorry. But so to get the triangles, the faces, we need the height of it. But this, we can't use this number. Let's just say that this number is 6. So this is what we're gonna do. Let's worry about the base first. So base is the length times the width again. So we have 4 times 5, which still equals 20. So we have 20 over here. Now we got to figure out our 4. So this is where the P theorem comes in. So we have this number because it's right in the middle. So it's actually 2.5 because half of this line here is 2.5. So we have 2.5. And we have this number of 6. So we have both legs, but we need the hypotenuse coming down. And I hope my triangle is not as confusing as it looks. So we have 2.5 and 6. So what we do for that is we do 2.5 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared, which is what we're trying to get as our height. So whenever you grab your calculators and you enter this in, you're going to enter 2.5 and then the little caret key squared plus 6 plus 6 caret key squared. And you should get 42.25. So here's the deal. What do we need to do next? We need to square root this entire thing so we can get c by itself. So we're going to square root the entire thing. Now, when you square root 42.25, you should get 6.5. So now we have c equals 6.5. So now we have the c, our height that we need. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our base times our new height that we just calculated, which is 6.5, and divide that all by 2. When you multiply 4 times 6.5, you should get 26. So you get 26 over 2, which is 13. So now because we have this front and the back, we're going to multiply 13 by 2, and we'll get 26. So now we have 26 more units. So I'm going to put the 20 here, and I'm going to put the plus 26 for 2 more triangles. Now I'm